Thank you so much, Melinda. Thank you so much, John. Thank you, everyone, all my colleagues, all my people here. I'm so excited to be with you tonight and so honored to be with you. Guys, this program is called Christians for Kamala and Love for the Win. And I think I want to talk just a little bit about identity politics, right? There's a whole lot of messy talk about identity politics. But here we are, all of us who are people who say we follow Jesus in the way. We follow Jesus in the way. A baby born in the midst of a scandal, a baby whose mama was whispered about behind her back, whose father almost divorced her because, he could. A baby born in poverty, a baby born in the midst of empire, outsiderness, whose parents had to travel a long way before he was born and who didn't have a place to stay, whose mother wrapped him in bands of cloth and stuck him in a feeding trough so that he could sleep. This outsider, marginalized, Palestinian, Jewish, mixed race, Afro-Asiatic baby that God chose to manifest God's self in says something incredible about the identity of God and the identity of God's chosen one, this marginalized outsider who did not belong in the empire, who taught us that the most important commandment of all was to love our neighbor as ourselves, to love God with all we have. When I think about identity politics, friend, when I think about this movement that we're building together, where love wins, we are located inside the marginalized one. We are mentored by the outsider. We are mentored by the one who was cast out, disenfranchised, and murdered by the state for who he was and what he stood for. So as we follow Jesus in the way, and we think about what it means to be Christians in our hearts, is what my Negro spiritual would have taught me. We don't follow fascism in the way. We don't follow white supremacy in the way. We don't follow capitalism run amok in the way. We don't follow anti-Semitism in the name of the Semite in the way. We don't get to be callous about the lives of Palestinians when we're following the Palestinian in the way. We don't get to be sexist and racist in the name of the brown Palestinian poor outsider who welcomed the stranger and welcomed the women in the way. We don't get to be casual about healthcare in the name of the one who healed the broken and the sick. We don't get to be casual about economic justice in the name of the one who made sure that folks had food on the table and manifested justice. We who follow Jesus in the way, our identity has to be located in the identity of the disenfranchised, the marginalized, the ones who are not centered. We have to center the ones who are left out. We have to put in the front those who have been in the back. We have to follow Jesus's incredible reversal politics, where the first are the last and the last are the first. That's what it means for us to be Christians for Kamala, to follow Jesus in the way. A mixed race dude, we're standing up for a mixed race woman because this is the way the world looks, and this is what calls us into being and into community. So I want to say this conversation feels like it's about Kamala, and I'm voting for Kamala, but I think this conversation is mostly, friends, about us, those of us who yearn for the reign of God on earth, those of us who yearn for kingdom values to guide the way we live, where we live, how we spend our money, how we vote. This movement is about un pobrecito named Yeshua ben Joseph, Jesus, who was Mary's boy and Joseph's kid, who grew up to teach us only love. Let us not forget, as we move through these political seasons, whose we are and who we're called to imitate and emulate, and whose values we're called to center in these conversations. I know we can do this together because we won't forget that love is the command of the Holy One of God. Love God, love neighbor, love self, love, period. And everything else is simply commentary.